Everybody is freaking out about inflation. This is why Bitcoin has been selling off here over the past week, because we had the bad inflation report that came out. And check this out here. US CPI inflation is on track to hit 4.8% by 2024 election, according to Bank of America. Over the last 3 months, CPI inflation has averaged 0.4 on a month-over-month basis. If this trend continues, it puts year-over-year inflation on pace to hit 4.8 by November, its highest since April of 2023. That will be double the Fed's 2% inflation target. So we could be getting a resurgence of inflation. That's why Bitcoin has sold off. People are scared. They think inflation is going to be coming back. But, we think different. Look at true inflation. This month, it has been going down and down and down. It was at around 2.14% at the end of March. Now it's all the way down to 1.73%. And true inflation has a correlation of 0.97 to the CPI over the past couple of years. So the CPI could actually follow true inflation. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to happen because I'm saying it here. This is just something we want to show you guys. And it may very well be something that happens. We could see CPI follow this true inflation number. We don't really know how the Federal Reserve is going to manipulate these numbers in the future, but this is definitely something we want to pay attention to, different charts like this. And we're going to be talking about why we think there's a lot of fear in the market, why you should be buying the dip right now, and where we think Bitcoin is headed. You guys saw that title there, Fidelity is calling for a huge price number for Bitcoin. We'll be talking about that. So stay tuned, subscribe if you're new, hit the like button. Let's go ahead and jump into it here. So this is a chart we like to look at here. This is actually from Raoul. You guys have probably heard of him. But this shows the GMI Total Liquidity Index. And it shows you how these 4-year cycles kind of go, how liquidity is taken out of the market and then it's put it back into the market. We can see right now we are in crypto summer. And normally during summers, we have these huge injections of liquidity. You can see the past summer back in 2020, past summer in 2016, and also 2012. You can see that it was going up and it was going up and it was going up. So we can potentially see liquidity continue to go up. If we see more liquidity, we'll see more prices rise for Bitcoin and crypto. Normally when Bitcoin and crypto falls, we can see that liquidity is being pulled out of the market. We can see right here in 2022 when interest rates were raising, when the Fed was selling off their balance sheet. You can see right here that the liquidity of globally was going down, so Bitcoin actually sold off. Same thing in 2018, they were raising interest rates, and the same thing in 2014. All of these years, crypto winter is when Bitcoin sold off. And then another catalyst that is just making Bitcoin and the crypto markets, even the traditional markets, sell off here is the threat of war potentially coming. Iran tells the West to control Israel. This is kind of a black swan event. And it's really interesting, just 4 years ago, around the same time frame, we got another black swan event, which was COVID. And that taught us that we shouldn't freak out around these black swan events. We should definitely be buying the dip, because any crisis that happens is going to cause panic and the markets are going to sell off. Yes, war is terrible. We do not want war at all. Hopefully this whole Iran-Israel situation, it gets de-escalated and war doesn't happen. But if war does happen, we really shouldn't be freaking out in the financial markets. We should actually be buying the dip. And one of the reasons I say that is looking at this chart here, we can see stocks during the war normally perform really, really well, because during times of war, the government is not going to be fiscally restrictive. They're going to turn the money printer on because they're going to want to fund the war. We saw this back in 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine. What happened in the US? The US printed money and gave money to Ukraine to help defend themselves from Russia. Billions and billions of dollars. They turned the money printer on. So in times of crisis, you don't want to panic and sell all your assets. Over the short term, yes, we'll see some short-term pain, but the government and the rest of the governments around the world will turn the money printer on to try to circumvent that short-term pain by printing dollars. But over the long run, that's just going to help things like the stock market, it's going to help crypto, and it's going to help Bitcoin. So if we do get a war, it's just a great time to buy the dip. Obviously, we do not want war. Nobody wants war. It's not good for anybody, but it's not a reason to freak out in terms of investing into crypto. And we're starting to see some of the greed in crypto and Bitcoin start to trend down. We were up towards $80 to 90 in the crypto fear and greed index. That is coming down very fast at 65 now. We're still in greed, but I think if Bitcoin's price continues around this level, doesn't do too much or even goes lower, we will see us move to neutral and potentially even fear over the next couple of months. But right now we think is a great time to just cancel out all the noise. Fidelity, remember, this is back in March. They predicted Bitcoin's future value. They forecasted a $1 billion Bitcoin valuation by 2038. That's a $1 billion bit. That's not 1 million, that's $1 billion Bitcoin, which is absolutely crazy. So Fidelity, you guys know, they have been bullish on Bitcoin for very, very long. And now they have their own ETF. So they think that Bitcoin's going to $1 billion. So right now is a great time to buy Bitcoin if you think it's going to 1 billion by 2038. That's only 14 years from now. And if you're watching this video, I think you should probably get some Bitcoin. I mean, you could be a billionaire in 15 years if you could get one Bitcoin, according to Fidelity there. And then another reason why you should be just not paying attention to all the noise, the short-term noise. Hong Kong launches Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. A potential $25 billion in demand coming. We saw this come out when people were talking about the ETFs were coming. They were saying, hey, we're going to have $25 billion that are potentially going into these ETFs. Just to give you guys a different opinion on that, you can see right here from Eric Balachunas. This is a ETF analyst for Bloomberg. Him and James Seifert were talking over on Twitter, and they're kind of talking about how the Hong Kong ETF probably isn't going to get $25 billion in assets under management because there are more assets in US listed Bitcoin ETFs than there are assets in every single ETF listed in Hong Kong. Yes, it could be a big deal down the line, but right now there's just not a lot of demand for Hong Kong ETFs. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then he says US spot Bitcoin ETFs have more assets than the entire Hong Kong. And they're projecting around $500 million to go into this ETF over the course of this year, which is not a lot. We've seen IBIT, BlackRock have single days of over $1 billion of Bitcoin going into their ETF fund. And then just give you an update on what's been going on with the ETFs today. 415, GBTC had $110 million outflow. So we know this is also short-term pain because GBTC does not have unlimited Bitcoin. Over the next couple of months, potential 3-4 months, if they keep this pace, all their Bitcoin is going to be gone. So you kind of have to just ignore GBTC and know that they can't sell Bitcoin forever. IBIT with another great day with 78 million. But then we have FBTC with 0, and then all these others did 0 as well. So right now, IBIT is definitely carrying the buying pressure for the Bitcoin ETFs. We're seeing demand really slow down for the other 8 outside of IBIT. FBTC was one of the ones that was really keeping up. This is Fidelity's Bitcoin ETF, but they've kind of started to slow down here over the past week or so. And then we're seeing Coinbase doing some Bitcoin commercials. You guys can check this one out on your own time, but we're seeing them and also Kraken doing more Bitcoin commercials. They know what's coming for Bitcoin. You guys know what's coming for Bitcoin. The general public doesn't know what's coming for Bitcoin. So it's just a great time to get in, guys. I mean, we're seeing where it's going. We're seeing all the marketing. We're seeing the ETFs being marketed around the world now in Hong Kong. Here in the United States, there's billions of dollars in these ETFs now. So we know where the price of Bitcoin is going. We just have to continue to accumulate, not pay attention to the short-term fear, and buy the dip. And we're continuing to see the Bitcoin balance on exchanges plummet. You can see it has been going down and down and down since the start of the ETFs. The ETFs came out late January. You can see what's happened since those ETFs have, came out. The amount of Bitcoin on exchanges has plummeted because of so much demand from the ETFs. And we know after that halving in 2020, that is where Bitcoin on exchanges peaked at around 3.2 million Bitcoin on exchanges. After that halving, the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges has continued to dump. And this is just because there is more demand than supply that is coming out every single day. And that is what we're continuing to see. And that's why the Bitcoin balance on exchanges is continuing to drop. And this is going to cause a supply shock in the future. And we know the Bitcoin halving is coming in 3 to 4 days. So we know the supply of Bitcoin that comes out every single day is getting cut from 900 to 450 every single day. So what do you think that's going to do to this chart, especially if demand stays the same? They're going to continue to lose more and more Bitcoin, so the price of Bitcoin has to go up to meet demand. And you can kind of think about the ETF in this way. I saw this tweet here from HODL 15 Capital. He says, imagine a new ETF launching, Mega Yacht Bitcoin ETF. It buys 450 Bitcoin every single day, even on the weekends, for the next 4 years. Then it buys 675 Bitcoin every day, including weekends, for the following 4 years. Steps up buying to 788 Bitcoin every single day for the following 4 years. And then goes really aggressive and buys 844 Bitcoin every single day the following 4 years. Understand, this is what the halving does for Bitcoin. It's just cutting out the amount of supply that is available to buy for the average person, for the institutions, for everybody. So understand that no more than 21 million Bitcoin can be created. And if demand picks up in the future, the price has to go up for BTC. And then I wanted to leave you guys with this clip. I thought this was actually really funny. Australians were laughing after the bank wouldn't give this lady her money. They're just laughing on national TV like it's an okay thing for somebody to go to the bank and be like, hey, I need my money at my bank. And the bank's like, no, you can't get your money because it's not here. And I just thought this was really interesting that they're just laughing about it. And people now may be laughing about it and not even knowing there's a solution to that problem. And that is Bitcoin and crypto and owning your own assets and putting it in cold storage. So I just want to leave you guys with this clip. If you found any value in today's video, make sure to hit that like button. I'm Aaron from Bitcoin Bros. I'm out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great rest of your day.
Outrage in Queensland tonight after a local woman rocked up to her bank to withdraw cash, only to be told they didn't have any. Taryn Compton wanted to grab some notes to pay a tradie, but when she got to the ANZ ATM, she realised she'd forgotten her EFTPOS card. When she asked the teller for the money instead, she was told the bank doesn't carry cash.
And Taryn Compton's here to tell us all about her terrible banking experience. Taryn, what did you think when you walked into a bank only to be told they don't have cash?
I thought it was absolutely crazy. I thought she must have misheard what I wanted, if I'm honest. How can you go to a bank and not be able to get your own money out?
Taryn, that's what I'm confused about. So what's in the bank if there's no cash? Isn't there, if you open up the safe, what's in there? How did they explain it to you?
They just said, I'm so sorry, we can't help you. There's nothing we can do. We don't have cash here.
So did you think maybe that was a temporary situation? That maybe they were going to get some cash tomorrow?
No, she actually said, we don't carry cash anymore. We can't help you. She did say, if you're desperate for it today, you can transfer it to another bank and try and get it out there, but we can't help.
Was she in on how absurd this was? Like, did she get it was like you were walking into KFC and they said, sorry, we don't do chicken?
No, she wasn't. She was just, I'm really sorry, we can't help you. We just don't have money here anymore.
Taryn, do you think that banks should carry money, as in cash?
I don't. They have got my money in their banking system. I should be able to access it, right?
Have you heard anyone else have this similar experience, Taryn, or is this the first time that you've come across this?
This is the first time I have come across it myself, but my social media is blowing up with lots of people with the same experience.
What's the vibe of those people, Taryn? I'm guessing they're not thrilled that they can't access their own cash money.
Definitely not thrilled. And people are saying, where is it? Like, you have got my hard-earned cash. Where is it? I want it. And when the answer that you get is, I just don't have it, it really does get you thinking about our whole banking system.
Taryn, you should have sent the lady at the bank to an ATM to get money out to give to you.
I didn't think of that at the time.
Yeah.
What did you do?
I transferred it out of that bank into another bank and managed to get it out.
Wow. And so you were getting this for a tradie, is that true?
It is true.
Okay, I won't ask. Okay, I won't ask any more questions.
Ignore the narc and the desk, Taryn.
Look, Taryn, I work a bit in the cash economy, so I'm on your side. I'm on everyone's side here.
Good.
But there is a plus side to all of this. Will you be able to use this tactic with your kids when they ask for pocket money? So there's none in the bank. I can't help you.
I'll try.